Hi viewers and welcome to Mighty Web Scorpion's Let's Play Mega Man 9. I am dedicating this Let's Play to the victims and their families over in Japan for the quake they had, the big one they had recently. Real big one. They still having earthquakes 5 point above even after a week later. So my heart's out for them. Anyway, first level is Splash Woman stage. And you know, your typical underwater level. You got these octopus guys. You shoot them. If you get too close, they'll come out and start shooting at you. Or if you're far enough away, you shoot at them, they'll come out too. So it's beneficial to shoot them from afar, and then you'll be able to shoot their head. They shoot out this like oil bubble shot. If you get hit, you take some damage, and then you turn black. But other than that, it does nothing else. You get a couple paths going down. The first one, you probably want to go left for the one-up, but you can actually go right, like I did, and jump through the spikes very carefully, and still be able to get the one-up. Second one, you definitely want to take the right path if you want to get the health. Basically continue on. You get these like torpedo fishes coming at you. You get these bomb things that if you get too close or hit them, they'll start coming after you. About 5 seconds they will explode. This area definitely is reminiscing of Mega Man 5. You get these bubbles coming up. The big ones you can stay on and they'll rise up. The little ones, once you step on them, you give it a second and they'll pop. So you gotta be quick. This one open area scene, you want to make sure you jump up so you let all the enemies kind of fly by, you know, before they even get near you. Once you get up here, you're gonna get the green robot on the walls. You can hit that one like I did there on the left now, no problem. This room can be a little bit of a pain because you got these platforms coming out, and you got that one guy shooting out at, you know, his projectiles. The only problem with this, especially if you're picking this as a first level, you won't have any weapons to really take that guy out. You either have to jump up and try to shoot him or just pass the whole thing, or you can try and shoot him when he's at the lowest point, which just barely you could reach when you're on the floor, but he usually doesn't stay there, so you gotta time it just right. In this room, you got, you know, 4 platforms, just follow. This room, you want to stay on the left side. As you can see there, I've made it, no problem. The spikes on the roof are going to be the big enemy there. Here, just keep moving. You can make it without taking a hit. And in this area, if you stand where I'm at right here, just jump up after he shoots, and you can take him out easy. And now, on to the first boss, Splash Woman. The one and only woman robot of the whole series, pretty much. At least the original, up to now anyway. I don't know if we'll get a second one. I'm kind of surprised Mega Man 10 never got another woman robot, which is kind of weird. I don't know why. Anyway, she has this pattern where she'll start to zigzag up and then shoot Trident down. As she's going up, those fishes come out at you. I'm died. It was a warm-up attempt, I guess. First level, whatever. When you're doing this boss, make sure that you are, you know, that you don't hit her, because she gives, not takes. I wish she would take damage, but she'll actually give a lot of damage to you. So you gotta make sure that, you know, you're not gonna touch her. If anything, touch those little fishes, because they don't hurt much. They're very little compared to her, or her trident. The trident can also be a little tricky. There's always some sort of room. If you stay on this one side and move fast enough, when she gets close, you can avoid it pretty easy. I just never did a good job. And then, you know, you'll take her out. I mean, it's easy enough, you know, as your first attempt. Or, well, not first attempt, but first level. And for getting her, killing her, whatever, you get the laser trident. This is actually a very good weapon. But it's a really good balance of all the weapons in this game, but that one is particularly pretty good. You're gonna be using that a lot throughout the game. And then Concrete Man is the guy to go after next because he is weak to the trident. And when you do this level, you start off, you know, pretty easy area. Once you see this bird with a rock pop, you know, from your right side of the screen, just stop. As long as you stop quick enough, you know, whoa. As long as you stop quick enough, you'll be able to make it. You know, they will never actually hit you. But this area is kind of a Electric Man beginning stage in Mega Man 1. Just jump on the edges like I did. This area is kind of a bit the same as the last room, except you get a 1-up. And there's only one enemy, and you get a little more room, so good stuff. This area, you get this elephant, easy. Just stay on the ladder, shoot. You take him out. Here's the second variant. He actually kind of makes the ball bounce. Stay basically where the little tree is in the background, and you should be fine. Now this one's like the first one, but you get hits. So slightly tougher than all the rest, I guess, because you can die one hit kill kind of a thing. This area, you get these spiders that come from the ceiling. Just let it come down and kill it. As you drop down here, hold right, and you'll be able to get the screws. There's no pits here, but this area you want to be careful because that one different block above the spikes, you can fall through and hit spikes and die. Other than that, just try not to get any hits and keep going. Now this area, usually he's nothing. I don't know, I took too many hits here for some very odd reason. And now because of that, the little spider on top is just taunting me. Look at him jump up and down. Jeez. And I have nothing really to take him out safely. I mean, you could try and fool him by going left and then going right real quick to get up. It wouldn't work. But luckily, I have enough health to get across. Now I'm all really nervous not to get hit because I don't want to start this level all over again. Well, at least to the halfway point. Luckily though, I'm pretty much at the end. There's no more enemies. There's just this last area here. These platforms, if it's an arrow going up in pink, well, it goes up. If it's an arrow going down in green, it goes down. The only part that might make that tough is, you know, it's variant on the platforms all around. But anyway, here's boss number 2, Concrete Man. He can be tough, and I might as well just die because I had no health. As you see, he does his ramming attack. He'll ram at you till he hits the wall, and you know, you can get him a couple times pretty easy there. The other attack he has is he's shooting 3 of the concrete blocks at you. Like you saw right there, if you get hit by it, you can't move. You won't be able to get out until he hits you. I don't know if after a long time you get out of it, because it seems very long, but you don't want to get stuck in that because it's almost a guaranteed hit from the boss. There's also another where he'll jump up in the air and kind of slam down. Make sure you're not on the ground as he hits the ground because you lose your footing. Luckily, you can get up real quickly compared to the concrete blocks. So make sure you watch out for that. And for the effort, we get the concrete shot. Or like it says in the weapon menu, it says C-shot. And there's lots of jokes about that one. Anyway, off to the third boss, which is Galaxy Man. The actual weapon of the C-shot is actually really good because you can it doesn't shoot very far, but you can actually, once it hits like a wall or a floor, you can make a platform. So if you had like a really long, you know, spikes or something, you can go across it like pretty much no problem. It would have been kind of nice to see more long spikes. That could have been good for like the later levels, but there's really nothing. It's still very, very useful. It's used a lot. Now you get to this room and you get these pink teleporting, pushing platforms. You're gonna see those quite a lot in this level. Those enemies that come down, if they grab you, they slide you across. Usually towards spikes or some other hazard. You gotta be careful if you get caught there, because you can definitely, you know, fall right into spikes, so watch out. When you drop down here, make sure you're holding right so you don't fall into the spikes. And now we get to this area that has more of these teleporting platforms. The only hard part about these small area here is making that little platform. You gotta kind of push to the left and then go right underneath it. This area you get these little UFO eye things. It's one big one, but if you shoot them a little, they'll blow up into, you know, multiple little ones. Usually 3 or 4. They're, you know, they're pretty much positioned in a way to kind of hinder you a lot of times. That last one, you actually, well, first of all, I'm gonna go and get this one up. But this last guy, if you let him go all the way to the right, you can jump to the ladder, no problem. Now this area, I mean, you can actually, these shield attackers, they're back, of course. You can use the trident on them. I didn't, because I was actually at this very moment thinking I needed the weapon for the boss. Even though I really didn't, but I didn't do it. This area you gotta be careful, there's one more little hand that comes from the ceiling, kind of like Zelda style, I guess, I don't know. He does respawn when you're coming back, so be careful. And then just keep going. This next room has these the screws, pretty much. If you want to get them, you can, otherwise keep going. Energy capsules and stuff on the left if you want. I think there is one of those little hand gripping things that come from the ceiling at the far end. I didn't even bother. If you jump just right, you can get this big screw that was right there. Here, just keep jumping around until you can get to the very right for boss time. Now this guy, he's got this kind of like charging at you attack in an arc. That could be kind of a pain, it's pretty random. The other one, he'll go up to the sky and then start floating back and forth and then shoot a black hole at you. He'll keep flying up there until the black hole kind of materializes on the floor, and then underneath it he'll reappear there. If he's flying back and forth and doesn't shoot a black hole, he's gonna come slamming down. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that's kind of it. You do have the C shot is obviously the best for him. You don't want to shoot too fast because he has that little bit of a invulnerable moment. So you kind of be wasting shots, which I did here. Luckily his pattern's easy enough once you try him a couple times, so he's not too tough. And now we got another new weapon. I think it's I was about to say gravity hold. Wrong game. The black hole bomb. You're basically getting just about the same exact thing he has. It's a weapon where you shoot it and it'll start rolling forward. Press the attack button again and it'll make the actual black hole. If it's a small enemy, they'll just be eaten up by the black hole. If it's a bigger that needs a lot more attacks, it'll actually just damage. So, there you go. Anyway, it's Jewel Man time. This first part of the level is pretty straightforward. The only hard part is these little, I don't know, green dollar bills that come down. That's what they at least look like when they're coming down. They're tough in a way because they're coming down, they're small as it is, so it could be kind of tough to hit them. But once they get to the ground, they're so small that you cannot actually shoot them. The only way you can actually damage it is you're in a different level as the platform, or they hit like a wall when they start going back and forth, because they kind of bounce up. Now when you get to this area with the 3 spiders, take your time. Try to get those 2 on top to be on the platform you're at so you can get rid of them. Because if they go to the bottom, it's more of a pain. It's really, you're going to take a hit. This one, not much you can do about the bottom one, but the top one, you could probably try and kill it, you know, whatever arsenal you have, but good chance that you're going to fall to the ground. In this case, just fake out a right and then go left, and then get your trident like I did. You can knock them out. And now this area is, you know, you get these platforms that kind of go left and right depending on which way you're walking. Make sure that you're, you know, you be careful. The harder levels, you get enemies here, so this becomes harder. That is a tough spot because you got spikes and a pit, and you kind of have to jump just right. And you're not even at a checkpoint yet, so you gotta be careful. This guy though can be a bit of a pain because he can kind of make you lose your footing, and you know, all these boulders come down. One tip though is after the first time he comes down and backs up, if you could see, there was kind of a little, you know, like dust particles coming down. Wherever it stops, that's where he's hiding at. So you can kind of make sure you're at least not underneath him when he comes down. Now we passed the checkpoint, so good stuff there. Here it's nothing too special. Just be careful with these guys. Make sure you can attack them, you know, when they're vulnerable. This little trash can things or whatever they are. Well, actually, they're kind of like, yeah, they're like mine kind of carts stuff in it. This pitfall can definitely fool you. The enemies come out and they can really mess you up, especially if you're trying to actually do the jump. Here you get this platform, you gotta time the jump just right. You don't want to hit those spikes because it can kill you bad. Once you pass it though, you're pretty much almost good because this level is pretty tough because of those spikes. You get this platform they give you. You gotta make that platform swing real good to one way and then jump through the middle. Once you pass it though, you're pretty much golden. The only thing left is a small last spot of the level, which just has various different enemies. Granted, they can still really mess you up, because you get these little dollar bills coming down, you got the spiders that jump from the ceilings, and then you get this big guy. It's pretty much the end of every level anyway. But once you pass all that, time for the boss. Obviously, you want to get your black hole bomb. He's actually easy. This all you have to do really to take him out, just shoot the black hole bomb. Once he gets near it, just jump so he jumps, and then he'll come back down and take a second hit. Easy enough. I mean, I almost don't even know his pattern. I just know he'll come at you with a shield, and he'll jump when you jump. He might shoot the shield forward, I'm not entirely sure. But if you have the black hole bomb, if you kind of time it just right, it's easy enough. And for the effort, we get another weapon, the Jewel Satellite. And this one is very useful because you can actually make the little shield. If you actually run over mini enemies, you know, ones that take maybe 1 or 2 hits, they'll die and you won't lose the shield, so it's very useful. You can actually get through little patches of levels, some levels, just running right through everything. If it's a bigger enemy that needs more hits, they'll just take the damage and take your shield. But anyway, we get a little cutscene, because now we're basically halfway through all the robot leaders, or robot masters, however you want to call it. And that will be it for part 1. see you guys in part 2.